Or if we can sort of think a little bit through the value chain, I think the practices are underpinned by this view that somehow our job is all about driving content into people's heads, and we can use technology to do that in classroom, and that somehow driving content will improve performance. And I think what's emerging is that both parts of, or both sets of assumptions are wrong. So, you know, those methodologies you've been using haven't been terribly successful at actually getting content into people's heads, and even if they were, didn't make a lot of difference to performance. So I think a whole host of things will have to change that sit on top of that. So I think ADDIE, for example, it's not really user-centered, and as a consequence it doesn't really work terribly well. I think that should be replaced, and we, as you probably know, have the 5DI model, which is user-centered, which I think is a good alternative. I think the training needs analysis needs to go, because it assumes that the answer to improving performance is training, and actually, as I say, it may well be learning elimination, which is a very different kind of thing. I think learning objectives are also a kind of corrupting notion, because again it holds this hidden assumption that somehow it's learning, not performance support, which is going to make the difference in terms of performance. So I think learning objectives need to change. I think we need to talk about performance outcomes more and understand what those are. And then sort of moving towards the end of the value chain, I guess thinking about how we evaluate return on investment in terms of those performance outcomes. So kind of stripping away, I think, what has always been a bit of a fig leaf around Kirkpatrick levels 1 and 2, and actually focusing more on behavioural change, however we deliver that. Because as I say, there are better ways to deliver that than actually getting people to learn stuff. So I think that is, something we need to do differently. And finally, I guess thinking generally just kind of modules. I mean, when you go on the web, you never really find modules, and yet we're still persisting in creating kind of modules. And so I think that sort of format, shifting away from modules and courses towards experiences and resources, which is what we're trying to do, I think that needs to change.